Hey guys, it's Renee. I'm doing a large past life reading for a client, and I went ahead and shuffled the deck and did my prayers. And I have here the four cards that are really going to kind of show the family that you were born into. I drew these right off the top of the deck. Um, we have the reverse strength card, the Six of Wands, the Five of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. I'm feeling here strongest to start this. The Ten of Wands. I feel like the family that you were born into, you carried a lot. There was a lot of work on their behalf, not on their behalf, on their half. They were the ones, I feel as though taking care of another family, as though they were servants of the family. And you were born into this family, and then when you were born into the family, I feel like I'm feeling like your mother and father were alone, and they were married alone, and they got pregnant with you, and your mother was interested in learning how to abort you. I feel like she tried to figure this out repeatedly, and she could not, or she would chicken out. I feel like there was a lot of anger between her and your father about you. Like, the reason she was trying to do this was to make him happy. Like, he was afraid of losing their jobs if you had the child, and if she had the child. And so I see that she did lose her job when you were born. I feel like she was able to live in the servants' quarters still, and the family was nice enough. I mean, say nice enough, it sounds awful though, doesn't it? They were nice enough to let you still you and your mother stay, even though your mother was not working for a while. And I feel like maybe she even wet nursed, and to bring in some extra money, or to stay relevant to the family, stay on. But I definitely feel like this is just a kind of blur of an early life for you. This reverse strength card, I'm not feeling like you had much of anything those first few years. I feel like your mom went back to work when you were fairly young still, leaving you alone in the room a lot. Seeing a really tall crib, like that was where you stayed most of the time, and she would come back and forth throughout the day. But mostly it was a really sad, lonely early life. I feel a lot of quiet, when you weren't crying, a lot of quiet. I see your father in that lifetime. He never really connected to you. I don't feel like he felt that he loved you. I don't sense that at all. I sense your mother loved you, and she did the best she could to take care of you, but due to like the situation that you all lived in, it just wasn't something she was able to do to the best of her abilities. So I'm seeing this was really the early part of your life. I'm trying to get a sense of age here up until I feel like I want to say 5 or 6 is when things changed a little bit. It's a sense of yeah, okay, so what I was sensing, things changing. I feel like you somehow became part of that wealthier family that you were living with. I'm trying to see, I feel like you were a companion somehow for one of their children, and you became like a study partner almost. You were able to attend schooling, attend studies, have a tutor with the other child, and have kind of like this better life than you had been used to, that you had been coming out of. Sorry, I just closed my eyes and I saw like a shadow of a woman in front of a blackboard. So I think I really think that's what I'm seeing there. It's just all these things kind of opening up to you. And I feel like there was anger from your father. Your mother was always worried, but your father was angry that however this had happened for you. But your mother was always worried that you would mess it up, that something would mess up, and you would come back and would not be given this opportunity anymore. She was consistently telling you, stand up straight, don't laugh, let's fix your hair like this, don't move your hair, don't get messy. And I feel like the other children that you were with, the wealthy family's children, they weren't necessarily as fancy as you were at this point. I feel like they really did let their hair down. They got dirty. They kind of had a lot more fun than you did. You were always very strict and serious because of what your mother was really putting on your shoulders, was that this could all be ripped away at any point, could just be taken away. And a lot of that, this Two of Swords card is like that sense of being blindfolded and not really having the whole story and trying to go forth and with work and everything, or not with work, but with life. So I feel like that is that whole push and pull between your mom and your dad, like his anger. He almost wanted you to get kicked out of this situation. I feel like he held a lot of anger over the years towards your mom for not figuring out how to abort you when she was pregnant with you. A lot of anger there. And then your mom, the worry, the fear, and constantly putting things on your shoulders, like worrying about this, worrying about that. The Eight of Wands here, I'm getting a lot of that chaos energy. So that's definitely what your parents are putting you through. And I feel like some days that you had were like that, very chaotic, things kind of exploding around you. So what I can kind of see right now is something with a rabbit, I think. One of the kids snuck in a rabbit. Like I feel like they hunted a lot, and they snuck in a live rabbit and put it in the teacher's or the tutor's trunk or something in her desk, somewhere over where the tutor was. And she opened it, and this rabbit jumps out. Everyone's laughing and kind of going hysterical, and you're sitting there like strict, serious, scared to death that you're going to get blamed for this. I don't see you getting blamed for this. But then I see, again, like another incident, I see something written on the board, and somehow they were able to blame this on you. And I feel like this is a few years down the road now, this board writing. You were a companion to these children. I feel like you helped the tutor, you sharpen pencils, maybe clean things up, wash the boards to help to prepare lessons. You were able to kind of get some of the learning at the same time that the other children did because you were doing this. That is what I'm seeing now. That is how you were able to be involved in learning, involved in the situation. So the writing, I feel like, was somewhere in her lesson books, and you should have been the only one with access to it, but one of the other children had snuck in and kind of scribbled and had fun and wrote some naughty things. I'm not sure what they would have written, but something that very much offended her and made her mad, and she took that blame out on you. So I feel that's where that chaos energy is kind of coming from, and I can kind of see your ears getting boxed. I can see you getting spanked or lashed or something by the owners, by the wealthier family. So I'm really feeling like that's where everything was kind of opening up for you and kind of becoming this better life, and then all of a sudden it was like all ripped away. Now I feel as though your father came to you and told you that you could work for the family, you could do laundry, I feel like is what I'm seeing. Work with the laundry or some other cleaning, but I'm really tied to laundry. White linens, I see like white sheets and blankets everywhere. white underclothes. So I'm seeing a lot of this out in the field, clipping, hanging things up, scrubbing by hand. I see this being offered to you, and you had like not a penny to your name. You had nothing. So I feel like going out into the world was kind of like this scary idea, but I feel like you took it. I feel like, there was this fork in the road, and you could stay and you could work for this family, or you could go out and kind of see what everything was about. And I'm feeling this was when you were about 13 years old. I don't feel like that was a weird age for whenever this time frame was to kind of go out on your own and just do, leave if that's what you decide to do. I feel like it was more rare for people to just leave, to not just get stuck in the same situation generation after generation, but I don't feel like it was an odd age like we would think of a 13-year-old today. So as far as location, I've been seeing like a lot of green hills, mountains, forest land. As far as a home, I see a very large one. It's not necessarily shaped like a castle, but it is very large, like that kind of feeling. I feel like the damp coldness inside, lots of stone walls and bricks everywhere. I see like mice crawling sometimes out of a hole into another one, and there's cats. There's always cats chasing them. So I'm not sure where this would be. I'm really certain it's not America, is what I could tell you. I'm feeling like Europe somewhere, really, is where I'm feeling with this kind of atmosphere. You know what? I'm just going to leave these cards out, I think, in case I want to refer back to them. I like to do that. Okay. And then out on your own. Whew. My goodness gracious. So, sorry. So I feel like this is definitely that starting point. I don't feel like you left immediately. I feel like there was probably some staying behind and trying to make it work as a maid before you went out on your own. So I feel like there's that depression, that sadness here with the Nine of Swords, stuck in your own mind, I really feel. And then this Eight of Swords, being trapped, but there's like a way out. And we were seeing that a little bit in the last part of the reading, kind of that energy of you getting out and leaving. So this is very much like, I feel like the next couple years. So even though I was picking up the energy of 13, and so maybe that was just when the idea started going in your mind, of getting out on your own, and maybe that feeling of not having a penny to your name, and then even that very visual from the guides of having the penny flipping in the air. That's you kind of trying to save up and figure out what you want to do with your life. So your mother passes away. I kind of was getting a feeling that she's your only real advocate, even though she's real picky and always trying to make you better than you are, to not draw attention to yourself, not make things worse. But at the same time, even though she's kind of pick, she's still the only person who's really on your side, who wants better for you. That's why she was so excited about you learning and getting education. But she passes away sometime during this point, and that's where we get that tower energy and a lot of those bricks like I was seeing earlier. And I even feel, I wouldn't be surprised if I see a mouse in this image somewhere. No mouse. But there's the cat, and then all these bricks, and I feel that's kind of representative of the home you were living in, the home you grew up in. All this dramatic, painful energy. And when your mom died, that was really kind of the tower for you. It was collapsing, your world collapsing, and I think that was good though, because it was for you. It was to show you to show you there was nothing left here for you. It was time to get out and go, and move forward. So I still don't feel like you had a lot of money to your name, but I feel like this is the point where you leave. So I was feeling 13 earlier. I'm still feeling that 13. So I feel like maybe that was just when you started, and then maybe 3 years go by, because it's like that 3 that's really strong to me. That 3. So possibly when you're about 16, I feel like we'll get more kind of understanding. Oh wow, as we go here. Okay, so we have the 2 of Pentacles, and then we have these reversed major arcana cards, the Star and the Magician, and then this Queen of Swords. So this to me, I'm feeling 16, 17. I feel like I got confirmation on that when I flipped over the cards internally. So the 2 of Pentacles, balanced life, and then something chaotic throwing it off balance. This was the moment where you stepped out of your home, where you went out into the world. You had some money saved up, not a lot, but you did what you could. So you had that, and you stepped out. I feel very small pouch. I feel very small set of belongings, not much at all. I'm feeling like I feel like you had 2 sets of clothes, and that you wore them all at once rather than carrying any of them. You set out, it was springtime, so there were still cold days, cold nights where those 2 sets of clothes did you well. You didn't really, even though you had spent all that time saving up money, I mean, there wasn't really much you could spend it on, and there wasn't much money that you had, but even though you had spent all that time saving it, I feel like when it came to living in the real world and going about and doing things, you didn't understand how to spend it, how to barter. I feel like going out into the villages, going to shop, they kind of recognized you as working for that family, and no one would really barter with you or cut you a deal. You didn't know how to, fend for yourself off the land, even though you had had kind of a life where you had been the one to help others kind of live and take care of them, as a servant. I don't feel like you had a lot of life skills. I feel like you still led a rather sheltered life. So even though you were poor, you spent a lot of time in that crib by yourself the first few years. You had a father who didn't really care for you, a mother who was always kind of forcing you into a mold, a study path that turned out wasn't for you. So even though you had all that stuff kind of going on, you were still very sheltered compared to a child, a woman at this point of your age who is out. Sorry, I just saw. I'm not sure what I saw. I feel like keep feeling like guardian angel kind of presence. So I don't know if you work with angels, if you work with a guardian angel, an archangel, but I keep feeling that kind of presence here. So I'm going to pause for just a moment. Well, not pause, but I'm going to get my, because I'm very curious, because this angel is for you, not for me. So I'm kind of curious as to what they're trying to convey to you here, because I kept feeling that angel kind of, I'm seeing like very kind of visually traditional angel. Imagine them by the profile, wings up behind, in a long dress, and their hands are like this, and their heads bowed a little bit. That's what I'm seeing when I close my eyes. I just see kind of like the outlines, so I'm not sure if this is a symbol for your life, something to look for, or if this is directly an angel trying to step in at this moment and kind of share information. But to go ahead and open. We'll see what message comes through, and maybe it's for right now, or maybe it's for later in the reading, but let's see. There's 3 that fell out. No, I don't see a message there. So I'm going to continue to talk to the past life reading and ask the angel to kind of grab one card at some point while I'm shuffling and lay it down for you. So I feel like you were taken advantage of in the villages. I feel like you ran out of money rather fast. I feel as though this life was quickly turning out to be not the one you had really hoped it would be. We have that reverse magician card, and I'm picking up on a man coming to you during this time. Picking up on him kind of fooling you. I feel as though he promised to take you in, promised to help you out. I feel like he was definitely attracted to you, and he physically attracted to you. I don't feel like he was a great love. I just feel kind of this snaky guy. Like when I close my eyes, I'm kind of seeing, it's funny, I'm kind of seeing in the cartoon movie Pinocchio, if you've seen it. It's pretty old at this point, I know, but there's like these 2 kind of shady guys that get Pinocchio to go to that island. I think I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I'm definitely visualizing. That's like what the guides are showing me in my head to kind of get this idea, as I feel he was very much a trickery, snaky kind of guy, a sly fox. He really kind of convinced you, I feel like, that he was in love with you, that he was going to take you somewhere, was going to have a beautiful life for you, basically. Take you away from everything. He pretends to be impressed with something. I feel like there was some kind of knowledge that you still had from your time with the tutor, from your time there. It wasn't a mass amount of knowledge, but it was probably more than the other street urchins had, and I feel that he was able to use that to kind of tell you that you've impressed him. Now, I feel like you went with him. I feel like he took you somewhere rather far away. You've definitely left the village. You've gone to a whole other place. Now, this is where I'm feeling this Queen of Swords coming in, as I feel a strong female presence. It's his wife, I feel like, and the 2 of them are definitely taking advantage of you in some way. I feel kind of like they kidnapped you, even though you willingly went with him at first. I'm feeling like a struggle at some point. I'm feeling like they forced you into their home. I'm very curious, because I'm just feeling a lot of forcing and anger, frustration from them. Okay, so this is that reverse 2 of cups here. I'm getting, so a lot of cups energy right here, but 2 reverse, 5 and the 2, and then this 4. And then we'll get into this in a second, but I really feel like they were really kind of sick, messed up individuals. I kind of feel like physical torture. Like, I keep seeing like lines on the back of your arm, like they're cutting into the back of your arm, and then they let it heal, and then they cut again. I just feel like this is them. They're just like this mentally disgusting kind of people. They have people working for them that are aware of like their dungeon area. You're the only person in there. They're aware of it, but they're kind of not, they're not taken down there. They're not taken advantage of. I don't feel like this is a long period of your life. but I do feel it was a shock, a surprise, because you felt like this man loved you, like he was going to take you and make you his bride. And then you get there and there's this other woman, and then not only that, but you're being essentially being tortured. Um, I keep seeing an outsider coming in. I keep seeing a time you have to be very quiet. I feel a woman in a lot of robes. I kind of feel like they had, they were working on this, they were doing this terrible thing, and then I feel like they had a medium of sorts coming in and kind of trying to contact with what they thought was evil spirits in their home that were what is doing this, that was forcing them to do this. So I feel like they were not accepting of the fact that they were the ones doing something wrong. They thought they were being forced to do something wrong. Very much so. They felt like dark, evil energies. And they were unwilling to admit that the dark, evil energies were from within. They were actually themselves, and kind of the sick, twisted game they like to play from within. So I'm feeling this woman came in and was like trying to read the spirits in the home, and she knew what was up. She knew it was them. She knew there was nothing kind of otherworldly happening here, but she could kind of sense that there had been, people before you there. She didn't know about you though. I feel like she stayed the night to kind of I feel like she stayed at least one night, and I'm feeling a connection to the new moon here, the black moon. Feeling as though she stayed at least one night to get to that point in the moon, so then she could do this. And at that point, she kind of found you, and I realized, and her and she convinced another servant to kind of release you and let you go. And then I feel like you left with her. And this whole family, you never saw them again. You never dealt with anything like that again. But I feel like that the guides are really like trying to heavily impress on me that you have had multiple lessons throughout lifetimes where you have had to deal with people who are manipulative, cruel, forceful in their views, and they take all these things that they do, and especially when they know they're being manipulative and cruel, they somehow take those and they place it onto someone else, like it's someone else's fault that they did that or said that. I feel like there's been major people throughout your lifetimes that you've had to deal with that have a lot of this energy, and I feel this is something that's been following you since this lifetime. I don't feel like these are people that you run into over and over again. Like, I feel like your connection with them was a blip on their soul's journey. They're still doing rotten things like this, but this connection to you, I feel like is something you've been having to relive since this lifetime. Is just not accepting manipulative people in your life. I feel like you've had times where someone is cruel or I especially see taking advantage of you, like asking you to drive them places, borrow money, for you to listen to them while they're going through a breakup or a fight with their boyfriend or a issue at work, and when you need to talk to them, they kind of just blow you off or don't hear you. So I'm feeling a lot of that kind of energy. A lot of people taking something from you else, like something physical. Now it's a part of you, physical part of your body, like some kind of physical connection, or items that you own, and somehow they were able to blame that on you, like, well, you shouldn't have done this then, and then I wouldn't have done that. But I feel like those are people that you've kind of attracted I feel that you are good at eventually turning them away, but it takes you a while to kind of trust your intuition and turn them away. For a while, you really feel as though, yeah, they did that, but they also did this really super awesome, nice thing for me, so I should just kind of suck it up and deal with this other portion of them. So I really feel the guides really kind of showing us this life and this little portion right here very strongly because of that lesson that's kind of following you around. There may even be manipulative people in your life right now that the guides want you to get rid of, and that's why kind of that energy was coming up right there. So then you leave with that woman in this kind of terrible nightmare. I feel like a short comparatively, still too long, for anyone to go through that at all. A minute is too long, but comparatively short, and you were out of there. And with that woman, now the card that came up is the Archangel Haniel. I'm going to get the guidebook out, and I'd like to really just share the message that's in the guidebook, and then we will get back to your reading. And I'm sorry for kind of going off with this angel thing right now, but sometimes, if you feel spirit, the spirit's talking to you, you just got to kind of listen, or else they really make my eyes shut down and my head kind of shut down. So, passion. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Playing it safe can lead to staleness and depression. You've asked for more happiness and definite direction. I've lit the flame of passion in your heart to lead and guide you. It's safe for you to take risks and follow your heart's desire. Ask me to be your partner along your path of passion to guide and nurture you. When you feel a strong knowingness alongside a burning passion, pay attention, as this is my way of giving you information about your next step. Haniel's name means glory of God. Haniel can help you give glory to God by living at your highest potential. She'll groom your hidden talents and help you polish your skills. Then when you apply your masterful ways to your true passions, divine magic occurs. So I know we've done readings before together, and I didn't look at them this morning though before I got into this. So I don't know if we've been talking about a new passion for you spiritually, work-wise, creatively, but I feel like Haniel has really been kind of trying to get into your mind lately and kind of talk to you about some kind of passion and paying attention. Oh, and that's so I'm curious. Okay, so she has two other cards in here, and one of them is sensitivity. You're extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. So that's pretty awesome right there. Connecting your feelings to your passion. And then this one I was kind of interested in seeing because I'm feeling a lot of that moon energy lately. And this is moon cycles. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. So I really hope you will do something with the full moon tomorrow night, that you will kind of just release some things into the universe that are no longer serving you. Perhaps it's that lesson here that we've been following along with, but I really feel like it's time to release for you some of your frustrations and issues that perhaps you've been working on. Now, the additional message is the full moon is a perfect time to release anything you're done with. The new moon is the time to focus on manifesting desires and intentions, and the evening before the full moon is an optimal time for healing. That's today. And for recharging healing instruments such as crystals and oils. Spend time looking at the moon and notice how you feel in relationship to its cycles. As you discover the moon's connection with your vitality and moods, you'll be more in touch with this divine magic. So again, working with Haniel. Haniel's aura is a bluish white like the full moon's glow. The crystal associated with Haniel is the moonstone, which has magical nurturing energy associated with it. Wear or hold a moonstone whenever you want to feel close to Haniel. She will care for you and with her nurturing mother energy, and will effect miracles with her love for you. So I feel like she's one that has been trying to get in, and probably trying to get in since I began this reading. Actually, oh goodness sake, this is really awesome. Okay, so we're going into, I'm always like, yay, this is awesome. I know that can be kind of annoying, I'm sorry, but it gets really exciting when I see some of these cards come up. you leaving those psychos' house. So, yay, party with the Four of Wands. And what is even more exciting, um, that High Priestess. This is the woman I saw you with, you know. She's a medium. She's connected to, you know, the higher energies of the earth and spirit energy and clearing energy. And I feel like the two of you really connected super fast, and became a almost like a kinship. Like she became the new mother to your energy. So we had that reversed Queen of Pentacles, and this is a very mothering card, and I feel like it's coming up reversed here. The guides are giving me like this vibe of that's because she becomes your new mother. It's like goodbye to the old mother, hello to the new one. And then this Page of Cups, it was really this beautiful, amazing awakening time for you in your life. When you found her, this medium, it was like you were able to kind of start working on your passions, connect to your spirituality. I feel like there were things that she kind of pushed you to do that you hadn't even been aware had been inside of you. And you might have someone in your life like that right now, and she might be, you know, a little bit of that energy from that woman kind of following you around. You might have a mentor, a friend, an older coworker, someone who pushes you to do your best, pushes you to see kind of the miracles in life, and pushes you to renew your interests and things that you want to do, and really helps you kind of guide your focus. She gives you good, useful tips. And, you know, this doesn't even have to be a female. It could be a male in your life with this kind of energy. Just someone, I do feel like a mentor of sorts, or just someone who listens, you know. So I do feel this amazing kind of reawakening. And it's amazing to see kind of that life, that squashed up little life you grew into, to like this big, giant, on the road life. Really being allowed to excel to your fullest potentials. I'm sorry, you hear my voice getting excited. It's because I feel the spirit. And it gets really exciting for me when I do. So then we have the Six of Pentacles, which I feel like is you really growing and being able to give back. I feel like I'm actually feeling when I close my eyes, I'm seeing hands, I'm seeing palmistry for you. You know, there may have been other types of divination that you were doing, but I'm really, really drawn to palm reading. I don't know if that's something that you've ever looked into, but I feel like that was a connection for you in this lifetime. The Lovers card, I do feel like, you know, I don't feel like you had a strong love in that life. I don't feel like you had a permanent lover, got married, had children, things like that. But I do feel like you had a lot of flings, a lot of healthy, happy flings. And with this traveling energy, what's kind of cool is I feel like, you know, you would be here, you know, over here in this journey, and there'd be like a man here. I feel like I'm pointing here, and I feel like a tavern owner. So I feel like there's a man there, and then he doesn't really have anyone else. And then I feel like you're in this town here, and there's a stable boy, and you guys are together. And then, you know, you travel, and when you're in these towns, there are these men that you can go to and kind of be provided a warm bed and a warm body for the night, basically. And I feel like they're all very emotionally fulfilling, and they're all very kind and respectful kind of gentlemen. I don't feel like you've met anyone on this path since that first guy that was kind of evil, that was that way, and that is a lot of why I feel like you did not settle down in this lifetime. That reverse Devil card, I feel like that really opened your eyes to the kind of evils that are out there in the world, the kind of men that there can be, and that really blocked your heart from finding true love. So seeing those two major cards right there, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that follows you today. Something about having a hard time trusting because you're new individuals, because you're afraid that they will hurt you in some way, or trusting and then just still expecting to get hurt in some way. But I can kind of feel that. But I feel like this was, that beginning of your life was definitely the heavy lessons and the heavy darkness and a lot of stuff happening. And this part of your life was more just freeing and going with the flow on the road. Yeah, I'm getting like a lot of that now. Kind of ugh, ingredients, potions, collecting memories in your lifetime. The Ace of Cups, I feel like a lot of joy and happiness, just love overflowing, something that you did not have in the beginning part of your life, definitely. And then the Knight of Wands is you. Always charging forward in that life, moving forward after all that hell you had been through, charging forward and taking what you wanted and leaving behind what you did not want. And I feel like that's a lot of how your life kind of flowed from that point on. I feel an energy here of a good death. I don't feel a bad death. I actually feel like you lived pretty long for this time period that you were in, and for how you kind of were raised in the beginning. I'm actually getting the number like 87 as I'm reading this. I feel like you lived to the age of 87. I feel like that you were able to kind of cup flowing over, getting that energy of returning the favor to someone else. So I feel like these ingredients kind of were you kind of allowing someone else to really kind of follow you around, like you were able to follow the other medium around and kind of fill them with energy and fill them with strength and understanding and teachings. I keep seeing the hand over and over again, so I really feel like that was your strength in that lifetime, was palm reading. I'm really connected to that for you. I don't know if that's something that you passed along as well, or if you passed on some of your smaller gifts and that palm reading was more something you kept for yourself, is what I'm feeling. But I feel a good energy here for the end of the life. I feel 87 in your bed, happy, content. There's no man around you, but I feel like there's 3 women by your side of various ages. One of them is your daughter, which is interesting because I didn't feel her earlier, so I feel like you had her later in life, a biological daughter, and I feel like the other 2 are like daughters as well, but this is your biological daughter, and she's there. She was the product of a caring and kind one night stand. I don't feel like she ever knew her father, but that was fine with you. You didn't need his energy, you didn't need his support and guidance to have a child and to take care of them. This was something that you wanted to do on your own and that you did do on your own. So I feel like she's there, and 2 of your prodigies are there. So I'm feeling like a very abundant lifestyle at the end. I'm feeling I don't feel like you guys ever truly settled down, so I feel like your room is in kind of the back of a trailer, horse-drawn, going from place to place. But I feel like those heavy lessons of your earlier life really stuck with you in your later life, and you took each day to its fullest. You didn't allow anyone else to dictate what you did, and you really passed those kind of skills and goals down to the women that followed you. Yeah, but that is your past life reading, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be curious to see what you think of it. And I am going to, just in case you can't watch this today, I am going to message you with the moon cycles kind of information, because I want you to be aware of that, since we're kind of time sensitive for this big moon. Alright, I hope you have a really blessed day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.